Yes, I was really happy with today's game because she's a tough opponent and I lost to her last couple of times we played, so I was expecting a really tough match, and actually conditions were a little bit tough out there because it was very gusty. It was a lot different than the outside court, but no, I'm really happy the way I played and just stayed aggressive, and even when some errors crept in, I just kept looking for the balls that I knew I had to hit, and it worked out well, so I'm pleased.
You come into the tournament, I believe, with it was a foot injury or an ankle injury that you suffered in Cincinnati. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah. Actually, it was a little bit disappointing and frustrating because I really felt I found my form in Cincinnati and was playing really well, and then had to pull out in the semis, and then was out of the court for 10 days, which I was not too happy about coming into the Open with such a break, but just very happy that I'm pain-free now and I can actually compete and get a few wins under my belt.
2 years ago, you came here as world #1, and you were upset finally in the second round. You're now beyond that point, and you come in this year. There were some questions about your health with the injury, and certainly not in the world #1 position right now, and yet you look like you're really playing well and with great confidence. Talk about.
Yeah, I think rankings obviously tell a lot about the player, but I think it just the way you feel about your game at the time. And I remember a couple of years ago when I was here and I was saying, even though I'm #1, I don't feel I'm playing as #1. And now I'm ranked. I really don't know what. Yeah, but I feel like I'm playing like a top 10 player, and I have confidence that I can beat these players, and that's huge for me.
What are your thoughts on the next round? I didn't look at the score, but it's virtually what the match. What do you expect?
I think it's going to be a tough match. I played her a few weeks ago in Stanford and lost, but she was playing really well and very aggressive. And there are different conditions here compared to Stanford. There was the ball was flying a lot faster and bouncing lower. So I just have to sort of try to have my game plan like I had the previous matches and just try to do what I did on a practice and what I worked on. And that's staying aggressive and moving forward. And I definitely have a chance.
You look like you're a lot more confident on the serve, especially the toss. Have you done anything different?
I did work a lot on that, but yeah, I do feel a lot more confident. They're coming a lot faster too, and just playing lots of matches, it does help get your confidence up. But there are still some bad tosses like everyone else has them, but I hope I'm not as famous for it anymore.
How'd you deal with the extreme heat out there today?
Actually, as I mentioned, it was a little bit gusty in the central court, so I did not feel as it was that hot out there, and tried to take ice in a change events and try to stay cool with ice towels and pour some water in my head and try to cool myself as much as I can.
Anna, was there a particular moment this year where you felt like things were beginning to turn around?
Yeah, definitely around Wimbledon time. I really felt, I got new team around me, and I just felt like I surround myself with a positive environment, and really felt, I was breaking through, and I worked really hard in those few weeks, and preparing for a hardcore season here, and I really came a lot more confident into this U.S. Open and also the tournaments leading up to it.
You seem like you're moving much better these days. Have you been working a lot on your fitness and your physical side?
I did. I worked a lot on my fitness, and that was a little bit of a catch-22 before, because I wanted to work on it, but there were always little injuries and little things, so I always had to stay away from gym and just try to do a lot of rehab and stretching. But now I could actually do some, strengthening exercise and also a lot more specific footwork drills and agility for matches, and that made a huge difference. And obviously, when you feel physically fit to last through these matches, it helps get your confidence up.
If a player has trouble with the heat, do you think of that as a fitness issue or just a dangerous heat issue?
I think it's a combination of two, and I think it also has to do with how a individual perceives it, and also which conditions they prepare and they're used to. But yeah, I guess you just have to find what works best for you, and I think it is very important to hydrate well the day before, and also that morning before the match, and try to use ice on the court. It really does help a lot, just keeping cold ice around the neck area.
I know you said it didn't seem that hot out to you today, but has it been inordinately hot the last 3 days here?
It has been. Actually, yesterday I was feeling the heat the most. I was practicing around 2 o'clock. I was like, okay, I think I'm done with half an hour. But actually in Cincinnati it was pretty hot and humid, so that was even harder because of obviously the humidity, and there was a lot more sweating happening.
Any other questions in English?
One other. Melanie O'Donnell was talking the other day about the difference of coming in this year with expectations as opposed to prior when people didn't have expectations of her. And you at 20 years of age came in as the world number one and had to play with great expectations of you. Can you talk about what it's like as a very young woman of, say, 20 years of age, what it's like coming in with those expectations and what you've learned since then now 2 years later?
It is a whole different story, I think, and it is, I see myself also as two different persons, because once you actually coming up and you have no expectations, you are hungry for success, and you really don't know what the stakes are, and you just go for it. You have no fear, and you play freely against anyone you really come up against, and then, once you start you actually get in a position to defend at some point, and there is more outside pressure coming in. It is a lot different story, because even though you perceive yourself the same, or maybe even better if you're improving, still there is a lot of outside effects, and that creates some doubts and obviously pressure, and everyone deals with it differently. And that's what I feel it was the biggest change with me, is that I managed to sort of let go of this, and now I feel I'm just coming up again, and I have really nothing to lose, and I got that joy of competing again.
Is that the greatest lesson you think that you've learned from having been in that rarefied air of being the world's top player?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I learned really a lot about myself and just about the world in general, and how everything goes. And, I mean, what I learned is that it goes on no matter what.